What's up, people? This is Nature Girl 30 here, and it is 6:46 at the moment. So it's maybe about a good 2 hours away from TNA Final Destination. Final Resolution. My bad. So honestly, I'm really interested in this pay-per-view at this moment. There's a lot of things going on. Sure, the Aces and Eights have kind of gone stale, but they play a huge factor in this pay-per-view, in my opinion, because there could be so many twists and turns and swerves. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to actually go out. So I am going to do my predictions of the show because I actually do want to watch the stream. Watch the actual pay-per-view. I'm probably going to watch it live stream. So I'm actually really interested a little bit in this pay-per-view. So let's go into the matches, and I'm going to pretty much give my 2 cents the best way I can give them. So let's get started here. Now I want to get started on a match that I kind of don't understand why they're doing it again. But let's go into the one final time match with Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles. Good grief. How many times have we really seen these guys go at it? About 1,000 times. I have to say that Christopher Daniels do bring the interest in the feud. I'm sorry, he actually does bring the whole comedy relief in the feud, so he makes it tolerable for me to watch. But I have to say, I would really like to see Christopher Daniels to win, but if he actually does win, that means the feud will continue. No, AJ Styles all the freaking way, man. That is going to be my prediction. AJ Styles. I don't want to see this match again. Let's move on to the Knockouts title. Mickie James versus Tara for the Knockouts title, of course. I really do feel that it would be really early for Mickie James to actually take the Knockout title. I really think that she should pretty much build up a decent feud with Tara before actually getting the belt, so it can be a little bit more rewarding. But even though she was out with that injury, it might not be so bad if she actually does take the belt as just desserts. But in a way, they have been teasing a heel turn with Mickie James for a while. So it will be pretty much an interesting way for her to be heel. But now Tara is pretty much a heel now with her boyfriend and all. So it really wouldn't be a good moment in time for her to actually do a heel turn. So I actually do predict that Mickie James is going to be the new Knockouts champion at this moment. Because let's face it, Tara is pretty much a decent heel, especially with her boyfriend and her arm candy on her side. So that wouldn't make any sense. But moving on to the X Division title, Kenny King versus Rob Van Dam. I'm a fan of Kenny King because I really do love the originality. I love his in-ring style. I love his charisma. I love everything about Kenny King, and I'm hoping that Kenny King will actually take the belt from RVD. As much as I love RVD back in his heyday, I really wish that he would drop the belt. Don't get me wrong. He was a great guy back in his heyday when he was on WWE and ECW. I love him then. But for crying out loud, seriously, I really do want Kenny King to win. It would be nice to have a fresher face to be on the X Division title instead of Rob Van Dam. That's just how I feel about it. Kenny King for the win. Let's move on to the World Tag Team title. Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan versus Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. I really tried to care a lot about this feud, but I really didn't care much about it until Matt Morgan came back, and it kind of did bring a lot of interest. Joey Ryan, I hate to say it, but Joey Ryan is a decent, probably the most decent sleazy heel I have seen in a while. You don't really see a lot of sleazy heels anymore because everything is so PC. But it is nice to see him out there as a sleazy heel. I'm sorry, it is. Even though he looks like a 70s porn star. The guy, I love him as a heel. And I really do hope that Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan would actually win this. I'm hoping they actually do win this and take the tag team titles from Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. Because in my opinion, heels actually bring a lot more interest to the belt than the faces. And I think it would be great to see these guys win because it'll bring a lot more oomph. Not so much oomph, but it also will bring a little bit more to the belts than having the faces have it all the time. And let's face it, Chavo Guerrero has to be the face at this point. So I'm hoping my vote is going to be for Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan for the win. I'm hoping they actually do win. Moving on to Bully Ray versus Austin Aries. Do you honestly believe that Austin Aries is going to win this? No. I mean, for crying out loud, Bully Ray, even though in my opinion Bully Ray happens to be, he's an aggressive face. He's not totally an anti-hero because of the fact is that he still has somewhat of a conscience. While anti-heroes don't give a crap. They do whatever they want. They have their own playbook of how things are supposed to be. They have their own right and wrong in their head. But Bully Ray still has a conscience. He still has morals, which leads him to be an aggressive face. An aggressive face is probably the best face there is. It's pretty much on the border between an anti-hero and a face, but not so much an anti-hero. I'm actually rooting for Bully Ray to actually win this one because Bully Ray, good grief, for crying out loud, he has Brooke Hogan on his arm, and not only that, he'll win over Hulk Hogan. It'll be beneficial for Bully Ray to win. And Austin Aries, his heel tactics are not as great as he was on ROH, but honestly, I really don't see him winning. I mean, I'm sorry, the odds are pretty much stacked against him. With pretty much the whole TNA fan base behind him, Brooke Hogan on his arm, and the fact that he has a huge shoe to fit. He has like pretty much he has to prove a lot. He has a lot to prove to Hulk Hogan to show that he's actually trustworthy. There's a lot more behind him than Austin Aries. So I have to say that Bully Ray is going to actually win this fight. Now, moving on to two of my most anticipated events of the night. Let's move on. Before I get to the world title match, I'm going to get on to the Aces and Eights versus Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Garrett Bischoff, and Wes Briscoe. Now, this is really interesting because, let's face it, the Aces and Eights have gotten stale. They've gotten stale in the possible worst way they could ever be stale. So they have to have some reveals. In my opinion, I really do believe that that's been pointed out in a few reviews, and actually I just watched Schleg Day's review, and he actually did point this out and made me think a little bit about this. That with Al Snow being gone from the gut check and having D'Lo Brown take over, and when I actually did see that, I'm like, it's a given that D'Lo Brown's the inside guy. And I knew that D'Lo Brown was a part of the Aces and Eights from the very beginning. If you saw that fat silhouette with that round head, come on, there's only one guy that you know that swings that head around like this with a round head and a really chubby body. We all know it is D'Lo Brown. He may not be the VP, but he is part of the whole team. He's the inside guy. And I wouldn't be surprised that somebody on the good guy team is going to turn heel and go to the Aces and Eights and help the Aces and Eights win. A lot of people are betting on Wes Briscoe. Some people are betting on Garrett Bischoff. I have no idea. All I know is that I would not be surprised if it's going to be somebody that nobody else predicted. So it's kind of hard to call this match because of the fact that the Aces and Eights are a huge factor in this match. And the fact that you really don't really know who the member is that's going to turn on them or actually cause them to win. So I really can't make a good call on this match. But moving on to the final match of the night, the main event, the world title match with Bobby Roode versus Jeff Hardy. This is going to be what Jim Ross would always say, a slobber knocker of a match. That's one thing I'm going to definitely say. I mean, I know that Bobby Roode and Jeff Hardy are going to definitely bring it. And Jeff Hardy, being the daredevil that he has brought it for every single last match, every match that I have seen him in, WWE and otherwise. That guy has brought it. He will go far beyond the Call of Duty to entertain people, let alone to dismember the people that he's involved with, let alone in almost killing himself. So this is going to be a really great match to watch. And I really do feel that I'm not entirely sure if Jeff Hardy is going to actually have the belt anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Roode is going to take it back. The reason why is because that even though you've seen Jeff Hardy hold that belt around, he really hasn't been promoting it a lot more. You really don't feel that he's truly the champion except for that belt with his face on it. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I really don't feel that he's a champion. He is a true champion. He deserves the belt. It's just I don't feel that TNA has showcased him as a champion. That's just me. So I really feel like that maybe this is a transition belt. Maybe this is a transition belt that is actually leading from, is going to be taken from Jeff Hardy and going straight to Bobby Roode for Bobby Roode versus James Storm part 3 or 2, however it is. And it's going to be a really big match for the next pay-per-view. Maybe that's what it is, but I really don't feel that Jeff Hardy's going to hold the belt for this one. I think that Bobby Roode's going to actually take it. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. Leave your comments in the comment section below. It is 6:56 right now. We have one more hour to go before the pay-per-view coming up, before Final Resolution. So if you guys want to leave some comments about it, or maybe afterward, leave your comments in the comment section below. And also, after I watch the pay-per-view, I'm going to pretty much do my view on it, give a little bit of a review on how I feel about that, the pay-per-view and how I felt it went. So stay tuned to that, guys. And as for my Q&A, well, I have a whole lot of questions from one guy. Thank you so much for sending your questions, but I'm probably going to upload it maybe on Monday. I'm not sure. Maybe on Monday or possibly on Wednesday. I haven't made up my mind yet. But you will see it then. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.